Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name's Meredith Phillips, and today I want to share with you the best character creation tool I have ever used. If you have been a writer for any considerable amount of time, you have inevitably come across the character profile sketches, the character profile questionnaires that have been put together by a variety of people, and it's meant to help you get to know your characters better. These are long lists of questions, sometimes dozens upon dozens, if not hundreds of questions designed to get into your character's mindset, to help you understand their likes and dislikes, their needs and desires, and all that kind of stuff. When I was a wee baby writer ages and ages ago, I came across these profiles and I thought, oh, this will be kind of fun, but also hopefully helpful in creating characters for my story. So like any aspiring author, I printed out pages and pages of these questions. I copied and pasted them into Scrivener or Word, and I set to answering them all. What I quickly found out is that I freaking hate these questionnaires. I hate these things. I hate them. They're really long, they're super tedious, and for me, they didn't feel like they were helping me figure out my characters on any kind of deeper level. They always include questions like, what's your character's favorite color? What's their favorite TV show? What's their favorite movie? What was their favorite subject in school? And at the time, when I was using these kinds of questionnaires, I was writing young adult fantasy. And so they didn't have movies and TV shows in the world I had thought up for them. They didn't even really have like traditional school subjects in a lot of cases. So you could answer the question like, well, if the character existed in our world, what would be their favorite TV show or whatever? But it just sort of seemed like, why? Why? Who cares? Just because somebody likes a particular show or movie, etc., it doesn't really always tell you very much about their personality or anything else about them. I have the perfect example of this. My grandmother, my grandma, Grammy, was a 4'10" Hungarian woman who ran a very tight ship. Her house was always neat, it was clean, everything was in its perfect place. She always had her hair done, she had makeup on, she had like an outfit on, not yoga pants, because those didn't exist back then, I don't think, but you know, like she always looked really put together even though she was maybe not even going to leave the house that day. She had gray hair and the perm, the grandma perm, and if it was a windy day, she had those little gauzy scarves that she would put over the top of it and tie under her chin so that her perm didn't get messed up, okay? She was very neat and particular. She had a canister of Ovaltine for us in the kitchen, as well as a tin of cookies from which we could choose one cookie after lunch. My grandmother's favorite movie, or at least one of her favorites, was Silence of the Lambs. What? That's not what you would expect from this little old lady who you might think, oh, maybe she likes some big romantic movie or like a big adventure kind of movie. No, she likes a horror psychological thriller with a cannibal in it. That was her favorite. So anyway, just because somebody has a like or dislike doesn't always tell you a whole lot about their character. So anyway, after a couple attempts at filling out different versions of these kinds of questionnaires, I basically just gave up on them and decided that they were not for me. I do know that some writers use them and really enjoy them and it helps them, and if that's you, that's totally fine. If it helps you, use it. It did not help me at all. I discarded them. So for the past couple years, I really haven't thought about using them in any way whatsoever. Well, last month, from my bookshelf, I grabbed a book that I've had on the bookshelf for years. For years, probably since like 2017, at least. Unbeknownst to me, this book contained the best character creation questionnaire that I have ever seen. Do you know what the book is? You're going to be like, are you serious? It's this one. It's this one. You know this one? The Positive Trait Thesaurus. There's also the Negative Trait Thesaurus. There's a whole series of these thesaurus books by, it's Angela Ackerman and Becky There's a whole series of these books by Angela Ackerman and Becca Puglisi. I don't know why it took me like 7 times to say it, but these are really great resources. I've had several of them literally right back here in this little basket for years now, and I've just never really looked at them. I don't know what I'm doing over here, but I'm an idiot, I guess. I know you're probably thinking like, how did you not look at these? Because I feel like everybody knows about these books. They've been around for quite a while, and I've seen multiple authors, writers, etc. reference them as excellent tools. Have excellent tools right here, right there within arm's reach, and I've just let it sit there. Now, the real purpose of these thesauri, they have basically lists in them. So this one is the Positive Trait Thesaurus, and so there is a list of dozens and dozens of positive traits: empathetic, confident, ambitious, different things like that. And it gives you a huge amount of information, things to think about related to whatever that positive trait might be. So for example, under hospitable, it has the standard definition and synonyms. It goes into what might have caused the character to develop the trait, associated behaviors and thoughts for the trait, negative aspects that might develop from the trait, examples of hospitable characters from movies or other books, scenarios that a hospitable character might find challenging. Super helpful when it comes to really thinking through your characters. Well, me being impatient and stupid, I guess, I thought that was the main part of the book. And it is, in all honesty. The vast majority of the book is pages just like that for all these different traits. And most people are going to flip around and kind of, pick and choose what they read. There's also 25 pages at the beginning of the book that is sort of an introduction. Does Meredith need to read an introduction? No. What a bunch of baloney. I'm just going to skip to the main event. Thank goodness. Thank goodness some writing muse smacked me over the head last month and was like, maybe you should just read it. Just read it for just 2 seconds. It'll be fine. It's 25 pages. You can read through it real fast. And I read through the 25 pages. They were very helpful. A lot of information that I feel like I already knew, but the way they were describing it and putting it together, it was bringing up all kinds of ideas in my brain. I highlighted the crap out of it, okay? And at one point they reference an appendix at the back of the book. That is the character profile questionnaire. It's only about 4 pages long, and it's not even a list necessarily. It's little chunky paragraphs with all these different questions within the paragraphs dealing with various types of aspects to a character. These questions are some of the most soul-searching, in-depth questions that I have ever been presented with for character creation. And I decided to sit down and answer the questions for the 2 main characters in my story. What do you know? What do you think happened? Well, I ended up with about 2,000 words for each character, describing them from the top of their head to the bottom of their feet and every aspect of them, according to these questions. The questions range, again, from really basic information, like what's their hair color, that kind of thing, which is fine. Okay, I'll jot that down. But then it gets really into depth with questions like, what kind of education did they receive? What is their biggest secret? And who would they not want to find out about this secret? Or how does your character handle challenges and stress or surprising events? How do they show frustration or anger? I took several days to go through these questions really carefully and really thoughtfully for each of my characters and write out the answers to them. It was extremely helpful. I feel like I know these characters on a much deeper level than I've done with any other character in any story in the past. The other cool thing that happened as I was working through the questions was, because of the way I was answering them, portions of the story that I wasn't sure about, or plot hole kinds of things, or conflicts that I was trying to work out in the story, in the basic plot, I was able to work them out because I started realizing, oh, the character would react like this, or the character would approach the situation in this way. And that really helped flesh out the story even more. The best part, you might be thinking, I don't want to buy a whole book for just like 4 pages of information. I would highly recommend this book, and pretty much any of the ones in this series of thesauruses that they've created. But if you just want to check out the questionnaire, the authors have made it available on their website free as a PDF download. Amazing. I will link below to the website. The website also has a ton of other resources. I would highly recommend checking it out, but I'll directly link to the PDF for the questionnaire if you want to read through it yourself and maybe consider doing like what I did and writing out the answers for your main characters. I do think it's totally worth purchasing this though. They're available on Kindle and in, of course, the paperback. For me, I really like reading this kind of book in paperback format, not on a Kindle. You know, I like doing the little tabs. I like underlining and highlighting and doing all that kind of stuff. And I know in a Kindle you can like highlight and take notes sort of, but it's not the same. I like doing it in a real book with paper, not a screen. So tell me in the comments, have you ever used the series of books before? Did you find the questionnaire helpful? Did you even use it? Have you used other character profiles and liked them, not liked them? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you have any tips for creating believable, realistic, empathetic characters, definitely let us know that too. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, make sure you click the subscribe button. I post videos on Tuesdays and Fridays. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye. But if you just want to check out, I kicked the camera. You can What do I say at the end of videos?